I'm officially 32! Well, I'm 32 on the day that you're seeing this. I'm actually doing this video a couple days early. It's currently Thursday. My birthday is on Sunday. You guys will be seeing this on Sunday. But when you're seeing this, I am officially 32 years old. Another trip around the sun. Another year has gone by. And in terms of ages, 32 is not one of those special ages, right? It's not an increment of 5. It's not something that's largely considered a big milestone in your life, like 18 or 21 or 25 or anything like that. It's just kind of a regular number. Nobody really celebrates 32. Everybody will do everybody will do being. Jesus fucking Christ. Baxter's back there. Also, if you haven't noticed, the bed's higher. I finally got like a bed frame and a box spring instead of just a couple mattresses on the floor. So that's pretty cool. But let's talk about my life and this channel and plans going forward and stuff like that, because it's something I like to do every year on my birthday. Every year on my birthday, I like to kind of do like a little update type of deal, like talk about things that have been going on, recap events. It's just something that kind of like helps me come to grips with like my life in general, because, you know, sometimes it feels weird. For those of you who don't know, I have ADHD, and with ADHD comes something called time blindness, which means that we don't perceive time the same way other people do. So what could be 2 months could actually feel like a year, and what's a year can feel like 5 years or 10 years sometimes. It's the way we perceive time is so different from other people that I have a hard time explaining to someone that a week feels like a month to me, and I don't know, it's weird. But last year, around this time, we were dealing with some pretty fuck shit. I'm not going to get too deep into all of that because, you know, bygones be bygones, and realistically, I'm not even bothered by everything that went down last year anymore. I've kind of come to grips with the fact that it all happened, and there's nothing you can do to change that it happened. And so we just move forward. We lift our heads up and we keep walking forward, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Like, there's no point in dwelling on the past. There's no point in harboring, you know, distaste or dislike or hatred or whatever the case may be to other parties during that whole thing. And I really don't. I don't even really think about it that much. It crosses my mind from time to time, but like I said, I realized over the course of the past year, especially my hiatus back in the winter, back when I stopped for like 2 months and didn't come back till like February. During that hiatus, I had like a lot of, they used to call it come to Jesus meetings, but I'm an atheist, so I'd say like a heart-to-hearts with myself. I realized a lot of things, and as time has gone on, like a lot of the things that I think have changed. And that's one of the biggest things. I think if you can honestly say that you are the same person that you were a year ago, I don't trust you that much. Because it means that you haven't had the time to consider how you can be better or how you can look at things differently. And if you're not willing to change yourself at least a little bit from time to time, then it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to me. So I definitely have a lot bigger outlooks on things. I think if I could go back and handle everything from last year again, I would just opt to ignore the very first thing that happened, because it just really wasn't that important. It was my own pride and my own ego that hated being lied about that caused me to do the initial video that happened. And if the same thing were to, if I were to go back and do it again, as I am now, I would just not even bother. I would just block that person again for like the 5th time and then just move on with my life, because nothing else would have snowballed from it. And that's realistically probably the best way that you handle that kind of stuff. Because obviously there was no evidence, there was nothing against me, and my reactions was what caused other people who just kind of saw an opportunity to hurt me, do things just to hurt me. And so that's in the end, it's whatever. If you still side with the people who were against me, like if you don't like me still because of that situation, then that's fine. I am not going to spend time trying to change your mind because it's not worth changing your mind. Outside of that, let's talk about some real life stuff. A lot of you know recently I ended up quitting my job because I found out that they were stealing commission money from me. This was a very, very big thing. I could have kept working there, but I would rather be homeless than work for somebody who's stealing money from my hard labor. Or at the very least, if I'm gonna work for someone who steals money from me, I'm gonna do it for a guaranteed paycheck, right? Like, if I'm gonna bust my ass for 65, 70 hours a week, and get taken advantage of by a boss, I'm gonna do it for a paycheck that's guaranteed, right? I'd rather a guaranteed $800 paycheck than maybe you might kind of sort of get $1,000. You know what I mean? And if you do get that, you should have gotten more, right? Like that kind of thing. I hope that makes sense. But I am not discouraged. I thought that when I was walking out of my job, when I turned in all of my supplies and handed off my appointments and my clients to other agents that I liked and I trusted, I thought I was going to be very sad about it, but I found out that the industry is just not for me. It turns out that I'm extremely good at sales. I don't know why. I honestly couldn't tell you why I am, but every sales job I've ever worked, including this most recent one, I've always been really good at it. And I think it's because I just connect with people. Like, I just talk to people like they're human beings, and that's what people like. Nobody really likes a salesman pitch. Nobody really likes well, let me tell you about this great product. People want to know that you see them as people, not as dollar signs. And that usually makes the job easier. And maybe that's why I was really good at it, but I don't like doing it. I don't like doing it. Even when it's ethical sales, which made the job a little bit easier, there's still too much work that goes into sales jobs that just don't see a payoff. And that's just the reality. That's the reality is that sometimes you just don't see a payoff no matter how much work you put in. And that's what really hurts the most, is you can put in hours and hours and hours of work, but if people don't want to buy what you have, then people don't want to buy what you have. And it's not really worth it. It's not really worth the hassle, the stress. And so I never stopped looking for a job in a bookstore. That's still where my heart is set on, is working in a bookstore or working around literature at least. So like a public library, I applied for a janitorial position in the public libraries around here. I would even I'd like to work for a publishing company. I don't know what publishing companies do besides read the books and tell you what you should do better, but I'd like to work for one of those. Just something in literature. That's still where my heart is set. That's still where I'm looking for, even if I'm gonna work a different job. But yeah, hopefully by the time you see this video, I will have a job. I have a phone interview scheduled for 3 today. So, ooh, I didn't mean that, sorry. Other than that, man, my life is good. My life is happy. It's still peaceful, which, despite doing content creation again and doing it, when I was working my other job, like, my life is still peaceful. And that's all I really wanted, was like a peaceful life, a life where I just existed, did what made me happy and kept going. And I can still do that with content. I'm going tonight, I'm going to play One Piece. I picked up the One Piece TCG, which is a really, really fun game. And of course, I'm a One Piece fanatic. People who know me know that my favorite anime of all time is One Piece. So it's just really cool to have, TCGs, which I really enjoy, and One Piece, which is my favorite anime of all time, in the same thing. And the community is really nice as well. When I first got over there, like, a bunch of people were like just giving me cards to use, which was really fucking weird. I'm not used to that kind of thing in the TCG community. Magic players and Yu-Gi-Oh players, everything's about what something is worth, how much does a card cost, how much is what kind of trade can you get out of it, like things like that. Like, nobody's ever willing to just help the new people by, like, just giving them things. They'll give you advice, but nobody ever just like gives cards away to new players. So I really like that environment, and I'm excited to build up my own collection so that when other new players come in, I can pay it forward. You know what I mean? I can return by giving some stuff away. So I'm really looking forward to that. But I also still play Magic on Fridays with my friends. So I still go out. I still, you know, go to restaurants. I still chill. I still take some time to myself. I do not spend all day in this room if I can help it. I am actually probably, after I'm done filming this video, gonna go grab some lunch at a sit-down restaurant. And then I'll come back home and stream. Maybe. I don't know. That's the great thing. That's the great thing is I'm living my life, and I love that. As far as content goes, I want to walk back some of the stuff I said in one of my videos. So my video where I said I started writing a novel, first off, still dealing with writer's block, which sucks. But I said that I didn't want to do content because I didn't like being in the spotlight. And that's still halfway true. It's not that I don't like being in the spotlight, it's that I don't like the harassment that comes with it. But I was talking to another content creator who has asked to remain nameless, but they are a pretty big one. And they were telling me that the reality of it is that for every person you get that irrationally hates you or thinks you're annoying or will, you know, try to bring you down, you're going to have hundreds of others that want to see you grow, right? The hatred and the negativity when you haven't done anything wrong or when you haven't done anything that's seriously wrong is always going to be a minor group of people. And you just kind of have to let that stuff go if you really want to be an entertainer. And I do. Like, even though owning a bookstore is my dream, I still love stand-up. I still love comedy. I still love making content. Like, there's something that's, like, incredibly satisfying about making a video, sitting down, editing it, and then putting it up and watching people like interact with it even, right? Like people just coming in and even like conflicting. Like I did the fog vial video and there were some people that were like counter arguing about whether or not it's an accessibility issue. So a couple people actually changed my mind on that stance. There were some people talking about, you know, why they didn't particularly like it. Like just the back and forth engagement is very fun and interesting, but I also just like entertaining people. I like making people laugh. I like giving people a place where they can escape their, you know, their realities for a little while. It's so fun. And, so I don't ever want to stop making content. And I think what I want to do is every so often just take like a month or two off, you know, just to let my mind refresh. But also, I just am never going to get a job where I'm working 60, 70 hours a week. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not doing that again. I will get a job that's like a, you know, 35, 40 hours, and then I'll have time to actually make content. And that's what I really want. You know, that's what I want out of my life. I just want to make content. And that is the most important thing to me, is to entertain you guys while living a peaceful life. It's a work-life balance, one that I didn't have last year. And I think that's the hardest thing to think about, is that last year, my finances were tied to content creation and I never gave myself time to breathe, really, right? I never went out to play Magic on Friday nights because Friday nights would be when streams would be at their peak in terms of viewerships. Like, I have to stream Friday nights. That's when everybody's off of work. That's when everybody doesn't have school the next day. That's when everybody is getting ready for the weekend. So the numbers would be higher. And so I spent so much time locking myself in this room. And I didn't used to have this. I used to have like 2 black curtains. So this room was always dark. It was all like in the middle of the day. This room was dark as night. And so I wasn't getting sunlight, I wasn't getting exercise, I wasn't getting social interactions. And I think that's what made me hate content creation so much, is because on top of all the shit I was dealing with in the internet sphere in general, I also wasn't living my life. And that's probably the most important thing that I ever learned was that you have to live a life. You have to have a life. You have to do something. Even if you're not a content creator, you gotta go somewhere else besides work, man. You gotta do something, man. Go, even if it's like once or twice a month, go out to a nice sit-down restaurant. Go for a walk in the park. You know, even just sit out in your front lawn, right? Like, get you a lawn chair and just go sit outside and just enjoy the fresh air for a little while, you know? So that's where I am with content. I'm gonna keep doing it, and if time constraints mean I only get to do a video a week, then I only get to do a video a week. If, you know, if something else, you guys get what I'm saying. So I definitely still have all my dreams. I wanna finish my novel. I want to learn how to play an instrument. I want to open a bookstore one day, but that's all gonna just tie into the fact that I've always wanted to be an entertainer, and those dreams never went away. Even when I stopped for the winter, and then I stopped more recently, the dreams never went away. And at my most recent job, another guy who's also a stand-up comedian was there, and him and I were telling stories about our different sets, and I remember just how much I loved it. I loved being on stage. I loved telling jokes. I loved hearing, you know, laughter from what I was doing. So at the end of the day, I can't give up being an entertainer. I think that mentally I was struggling from too many different things, and I finally figured out what it was that I liked about it, and I figured out how to deal with the other stuff. And that's, you know, that's the most important thing. So I really appreciate it. As far as this next year, by the time I'm 33, a couple of goals. Number one, I would like to be at 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube, so I can apply for partner status with Behavior. So Dead by Daylight has a creator code program where when you buy Oryx cells, you can put in a creator's code and they get a kickback from it, but you have to have 10,000 subs on YouTube. So I want to get to 10,000 subs on YouTube. That's the first goal. So we're probably going to try to kick it into overdrive here, see what we can do. Right now, on Twitch, I'm at 2,961 followers. I would like to be at least 3,500 by this time next year, which seems like a small goal, but I mean, you never know what's going to happen, right? And I'd like to finish my novel by the time I'm 33. I'd like to get, maybe I need to like sit down and write like a paragraph a night or something, and see how that turns out. But other than that, and thank you guys. Thank you, for real. I am always amazed how I can leave for a couple months, come back, and still have a bunch of channel members and still have people like we've been averaging like 15 to 20 viewers every stream. So it's just kind of wild just to come back and see that. The support is just, it just blows my mind. You know, it absolutely, because in this field, if you don't make content for a while, people kind of forget about you. People just kind of go move on and find someone else. And the fact that people still come back to me is crazy. I don't know what I do to make you guys like me that much. I don't know what I do to earn your support, but I hope I keep doing it. And yeah, my life has improved over the last year, which is not something that's happened in a long time. My life kind of plateaued about 3 or 4 years ago, and the fact that I've actually seeing a genuine improvement in my mental health and my happiness is wild. It's weird. It's very weird. And that's, you know, that's something that I can't ever like express my gratitude in, because I feel like you guys are part of that. You guys are part of me realizing that I can live a life and still do this, right? I used to think that if I stopped for even a day, that would just ruin me. You know, people wouldn't want to watch me anymore, and you guys proved to me that you would. And so that gives me the breathing room to pursue other avenues, right? That gives me the breathing room to do what makes me feel happy and live my life, because I know that when I get back to this computer, you guys will still be here. And I've officially yapped for 20 minutes, so as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merchant account codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love every single one of you watching this video so much, and I'll see you in the next one.